Good afternoon, folks. This is John Pettipas recording at 1 minute past 1 o'clock in the afternoon on noon hour or early afternoon of Friday, the 22nd day of January 2021. And I have the gloves on, but the gloves are coming off. The gloves are coming off. There's an election on, and sometimes the gloves got to come off. Welcome back again, dear friends. Today, bear with me. I have a lot of stuff to cover. I was speaking to my aunt in northern New Hampshire that evening. She's up by Dixfield Notch. That's where the first votes come in for the president's election. A little place just beneath the Quebec border in northern New Hampshire. And she had a great quote. And I said, I'm going to write this down, Auntie. If you don't want, this is her quote, if you don't want the answer, don't ask me the question. That's what Aunt Sarah had to say. If you don't want the answer, don't ask me the questions. You don't mess with Aunt Sarah. She's just a very capable cat. Okay, very capable cat. No ifs and buts about it. Very capable cat. That's no ifs and buts about it for sure. Now, today we're going to talk about tree, the number tree. They take a lot of things in life have the number 3 in it. You think of the 3 little bears, the 3 little piggies, the 3 musketeers. Hold on, bear with me, folks. Yeah, remember when you're a kid? The 3 musketeers. All for one and one for all. This is my trusty swordfish sword. I haven't used this for all. The 3 musketeers. I'll set it aside for now. And finally, we have the 3 amigos. Now, today my video is going to be in order of appearance for the next Premier Nova Scotia. The gentleman, the nice guy, and the other fella. In order of appearance. The gentleman, the nice guy, and the other fella. And I've been making notes for this for weeks now. And I just got a lovely letter in the mail today. A Premier for Nova Scotia. Look, great guy. Labby, L-A-B-I, Labby. What's Labby right today? It just came in the mail at noon hour, folks. Okay. Vote Labby Casoulis for Nova Scotia. Vote Labby.ca. I have the track record, vision, and solid judgment to be the next Premier Nova Scotia. Together, we will overcome COVID-19 and grow our economy. Sincerely signed, Labby Casoulis Esquire. Labby Casoulis Esquire. I was born in Halifax, the son of Greek immigrants who came here and started a business under humble means. My parents instilled in me the values of hard work, education, and community. I grew up working in our family restaurant at the Canadian Line's bus terminal in Halifax on Almond Street. In fact, all my stories have milk in them, some of my best stories. And here we have milk. I remember back in the 70s, early 80s, going in, getting out the bus hungry and buying a nice grilled cheese sandwich, okay, and a glass of milk. And I mentioned to Labby one day, he said, that short gentleman with the short sleeve white shirts and the stout gentleman said, that would be my uncle. My father was a tall guy. It's this gentleman's a tall guy. You see his picture right here and his lovely family. Okay? Like his wife is Jill. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her yet, but I'm told everybody that's ever spoken to her tells me she's a fantastic lady and their 2 young children. Anyway, after graduating from St. Mary's University, I went to work in Amherst in Truro for Scotiabank, where I also earned an accounting designation. My job was to help small businesses succeed. I also worked in Pictou County at Trenton Works. Following this, I started my own small business in Halifax. I know what it means to forego paying yourself in order to pay employees during lean times. I know what it means to forego paying yourself in order to pay employees during lean times. Remember the late, great Joe Casey? And Joe Casey was the Liberal MLA for Digby, and he had 2 fish plants. Casey Fisheries in Digby, and there was another one somewheres, and possibly Victoria Beach in Apples County. And he said nobody should be allowed on that legislative floor unless they had sweated out on a Friday afternoon to meet the payroll. I'm going to repeat. The late, great Joe Casey, up in heaven now, he said nobody should be allowed on that legislative floor without having first had to sweat it out on a Friday afternoon to meet the payroll. And finally, I wrap up here from Labby's lovely letter. I ran for office in 2013 because I was concerned with the direction of our province. Province was heading. I'm going to repeat that. I ran for office in 2013 because I was concerned with the direction our province was heading in. I was honoured to be named to Premier McNeil's cabinet at the time. Since then, I've worked with our caucus to bring key changes to support people and businesses. These actions are keeping many more young people at home than ever before, ushering in our lowest unemployment rate on record, and economic growth has allowed us to invest more in key social programs, and I pledge to continue down this path as Premier. And he has a vision, an outline. I'm asking you to vote this February. We will have a new Premier. And again, I repeat, I have the track record, the vision, and a solid judgment to lead Nova Scotia on day one. I humbly ask for your vote. This is Labby Kasoulis, and I'm reading. Humbly ask for a vote. Now, he's a great guy. I love immigrants. He was born in Nova Scotia. His wife, by the way, Jill. I was speaking to a wonderful Cape Breton from Marguerite. Phoned me up and we got talking about politics in part of the conversation. And whippersnapper buddy at Marguerite Harbour. I said, his father-in-law is a Chisholm from rural Antigonish County, from family, 10 big family. And I said his wife Jill's mother is a Newfoundlander. And at that, buddy in Marguerite Harbour said, so he married well. So you can say Labby's father-in-law married well. He married a Newfoundlander. So there's my trusty Newfoundland flag. He married a Newfoundlander. That's Labby's mother-in-law would be a Newfoundlander. Jill's lovely mother. Okay, a Newfoundlander. So, and Labby loves Cape Breton. He has an office up in Cape Breton. Nobody else. I can't remember anybody we had for candidate for Liberal Party leader that opened office in Cape Breton. And he loves Nova Scotia. Labby loves Nova Scotia. Great guy. So I urge people, this is a gentleman, a real gentleman. Now, we have another fella. We have here a nice guy. He's Ian Rankin. He has roots in Mabou. I think he was maybe conceived there and born in Halifax or something. But if you go back to somewhere between conception and potty training, he was in Mabou. Okay, and of course the Rankins are wonderful people in Mabou, and the Beatons and the whole crew of them. I've yet to meet a Cape Breton or Mabou or Eastern West Coast Cape Breton that's not fine people. What do they say in Mabou? Cape Breton, the music, Inverness County, period. The Inverness County, they say, is Cape Breton's music coast, and I can say that the heart and soul of music in Cape Breton would arguably have to be Mabou. So, he's a nice little guy, and he's a good little fellow. His father was a councillor in Halifax, but my personal opinion, he's a cabinet minister, and he's been an MS. Certainly, he's a hard-working MLA. I'm told he's very diligent in attending constituents' affairs. I know one of the ladies worked his office. She was there for a long time. She's since retired, and there's somebody else, her helpers, coming up a full-time constituent assistant. So we'll call him the nice guy. So we got the gentleman. So far, we have the gentleman, a premier for Nova Scotia. Humbly ask for support. We have the nice guy. We have Ian Rankin. In my opinion, a little bit young yet, and probably maybe not ready for the big times, but he's certainly he's a fine constituency man, and he's a credible candidate. Then we have the other fellow. Well, before I get on to other fellow, we'll talk about his grandmother. His grandmother was a wonderful lady. Our fellow, by the way, his name is Randy DeLaurie. Now, Granny DeLaurie was a wonderful lady marrying. Every year up in Maryland, they have the annual Pioneer Church service on Sunday. And up till she was 97, 98, she used to get up in that altar and she'd read the first and second readings. And wonderful lady. Her husband died fairly young. They had a big family, and she kept that family together. She's a really good lady, and she lived with her daughter. And the very last, maybe 6 months or so of her life approximately, she was in assisted living. So one of the sons is a bit of a wit. This is one of Randy's uncles. So he comes to the hospital, and mother's on the bed, and he sits in a chair alongside the mother. And the lady, very late in her life, she was a very sharp, kind, good lady, and she suffered from a bit of dementia, memory loss. And so he looked at his mother, and he said, Philip says to Mom, "What's my name?" And his mother, Mary, Randy's grandmother, looked at Philip and said, "If you don't know your name, I'm not going to tell you." And she damn well knew it, but she was just being witty. That was her Scotch-French wit in her. Okay, so lots of wit. She was the one. She died just shy of her 100th birthday. And sad to say, she died about a year and a half approximately before Randy was elected MLA for Antigonish County, part of the county, and the town. And so she never seen one of her grandsons become MLA in the Nova Scotia legislature, which is unfortunate. She was almost 100 when she died. She was a nice lady. I could have voted for Randy's grandmother. She was a solid character. Then there's Randy's father, Charlie. Prince of a gentleman, loads of common sense. Now, of course, to be fair, he never went near university. He's worked hard all his life, and he's a very smart, decent guy. Okay, and I like Charlie. I'd have no problem putting a sign up for Charlie. Charlie, be a great guy. Charlie, but lots of common sense. Really decent guy, and a nice guy. Then there's Randy's mother. Now, Randy's mother. She's a very determined cat. Very determined cat. Let me get the yardstick. 1 second, please. Bear with me. Somebody told me one time, Mrs. Gloria, go to the water coolers, kids, and say, "Get your foot on that towel." She was certainly quite a disciplinarian, but she's also a very capable cat. I can tell you that Mary, if she was MLA or minister, doctors, Nova Scotian, so on, wouldn't mess with Mary. She probably had the yardstick out and wrapped them on the knuckles, so maybe she'd get the strap out. So the doctors, Nova Scotia, wouldn't mess with Mary. Let me tell you that one. Speaking of doctors, Nova Scotia, Charlie Keating, he was appointed to a volunteer position, I believe, Capital City Health District back in the late 90s under Premier Russell McClellan. And he'd go and meet with the ladies in the laundromat and the cleaners and the fellas doing the maintenance work. Charlie Keating was a man of the people, very down to earth. And we had a previous health minister here, Luke Levine, a fantastic gentleman. He'd meet with people, he'd talk to everybody. You didn't have to have extring on for Minister Luke Levine to speak to. He was just a friendly, sincere, lots of common sense, a smart guy, very decent guy. And so when a problem come up, he could deal with it. So again, I'd have no problem supporting Grandma DeLaurie. And I'd love to, if she's in heaven now, of course. Don't know if they have MLAs in heaven or not. But they take, and at least they don't have the position of elected MLAs. There's noted there's some former MLAs up there, and some that will get to heaven, a few that won't. But anyway, they take, and Charlie, Randy's father, wonderful. No problem. I'd support Charlie any day. And Mother Mary, they wouldn't mess with Mary. Mary'd would deal with the bureaucracy. But Randy, I say, if a man can't do constituency work for his own constituents, it's like one time there's a certain guy who's still alive in Antigonish. I'll not mention the name, but there was a guy that since deceased. He was a good guy, and he said if he can't run, it was a certain business this guy was connected with. If he can't run this certain kind of business, how is he going to run the the country, and he meant to say the county, because the guy was French ancestry, and so he said country when he meant county, but a great guy. So anyway, if you can't do constituents work for your own people, how are you going to run to be the premier? You know, we're looking here, this is very serious business, folks. Liberal Leadership 2021 registers a delegate to vote in the 2021 Liberal leadership. And it says, we are not only selecting next leader of Nova Scotia Liberal Party, we are selecting the next Premier of Nova Scotia. I'm going to repeat that. When each and every one of you ones that signed up make your decision and vote for the candidate of your choice, you're not only selecting the next leader of the Liberal Party, you are indeed selecting the next Premier of Nova Scotia. It's very important. The late Honourable Bill Gillis used to say, don't let anybody tell you that one vote is not important. I know, he said, I lost my first election by less than a vote a poll. At that time, the constituents in Antigonish was the town and county, or the county and town. There's more of us in the county and the town. So it was the county and town, from Auld, Cove to Addington Forks to Barney's River and Kinseyville and Connaught and Arrowseg and so on, and from Ohio and Springfield and out to Loch Harbour Road number 7 right to county line, water to county lines, Pictou and Guysborough county lines, great people. Anyway, then we think of Randy. He's the $1 billion man. I love forestry. Nova Scotia needs forestry. All you fine folks across our province that depend upon forestry, you just think the mill is not Pictou, the Boat Harbour Act, the $1 billion man. Randy is the $1 billion man. By the time that place is cleaned up or the lawsuits are finished from Asia Pulp and Paper corporate parent of Paper Excellence, it'll be $1 billion or damn close to. So the $1 billion man. Not my choice for premier. I gotta be fair. Fair to granny, fair to father, fair to mother, and direct with Randy. Fair but direct. The $1 billion man. Nova Scotia can't afford to have Randy as premier. No, no, no. So you have that. I start off where I finished. I finished where I started off. You have this here. Just come in. You can vote. Your PIN. You can vote by phone. You can vote over, I guess it's electronic stuff, which I don't understand well. You can vote electronically. Okay. And voting opens up on Monday, February 1st, and it'll wrap up on Saturday the 6th. So it's 2 weeks from tomorrow. Just 5, 10, and actually 5 more. 15 days from today, we will know sometime that evening, the next or late afternoon, the next Premier of Nova Scotia. So you have 3 candidates, and you know who I'm supporting. And you're welcome to support. It's a free world. Support who you want. But I conclude there is the gentleman, by coincidence, lovely picture of the gentleman. He'd make a fine leader and fine premier, in my opinion. There's the nice guy, Ian Rankin, but there is a tree huggery part about him, and that doesn't appeal to me. I love trees, I love forestry, and I'm not a fan of tree huggers, I'll be quite frank. And then there's the other fellow, Randy, and I've said, if I was brought up, if you can't say something nice, say nothing at all. So I guess I can't say anything else on Randy. And with that, I remind you that it's a privilege to get out there to vote. And don't assume Alan J., the saintly Alan J. McHacken, they'd go up to Alan J. and say, how's the election going, the campaign going, Alan? And Alan would have a famous boilerplate comment. He said, well, we're a little bit behind, but we're working hard to catch up. His famous Alan J. McHacken used to say, when they'd ask him, he was never overconfident in the campaign, he'd say, they'd ask him, how are things going, Alan, in the campaign? With his own campaign in the former riding of Cape Breton Highlands Council, where of course was part of the national federal election campaigns. And he'd say, we're a little bit behind, but we're working hard to catch up. And of course, he lost one election. I think he ran for 6 elections and won 5 of them. And he won his first election in the Salera, lost in Diefenbaker's sweep of 57, I think it was. Those are both before I was born, and won every election after that he ran in. So he pretty capable cat. So it's no time for anybody to get overconfident. But we have 3 names on the ballot, and we have a responsibility to all people in Nova Scotia to put forward an individual that can hit the ground running. All right? And with that, I will let you go. This is John Pettipas. Thank you for bearing with me. I've gone on somewhat longer than normal. It's almost 20 minutes past. Actually, it's just after 20 minutes past 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday afternoon, which is the 22nd day of January 2021. And next time, I thank each and every one of you wonderful subscribers, the number of new subscribers in the last 24 hours, 36 hours. There's not a viewer or subscriber out there that's not important or valued. Spread it around. Share the video over that we call it internet, the computer machine there, or your smartphone or iPad, laptop, however you share your information. Talk about the video, spread it around, and next time, I thank you all. I thank all voters and people that signed up, and all our citizens. And the next time again, this is John Pettipas wishing you, each and every one of you, all the best, and God bless. Thank you very much. Bye for now.